This is even better than we thought, as following the Jays making a huge move yesterday by promoting Trey Savage. A new report and some new information has dropped surrounding not only Trey Savage, but the Jays prospects. That is huge going forward, and also huge for the Major League team this season as they are entering the stretch of a crucial, of course, next few weeks as we inch closer and closer to the playoffs. To break down these new reports, this new update, this new information, and discuss what it means going forward, as well as a few other updates ahead of tonight's big game against the Chicago Cubs in the mini homestand. Folks, a ton to go over today, but before you get into it, your guys' support has been absolutely unbelievable. If you're a part of that percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Jays content. It truly means the world to me, so thank you guys for your continued support, folks. Let's dive right into it. A lot to go over. Now, yesterday, Trey Savage, he was promoted by the Toronto Blue Jays to Triple-A Buffalo, and of course, I covered it in yesterday's video. John Schneider has hinted at the fact that he could be a reliever this year into the playoffs. He's been pitching a little bit of relief in one game there down in Double-A New Hampshire before getting promoted. Folks, the new MLB pipeline, we're diving a little tidbit about Bo Bichette later. Stay tuned for that. But MLB pipeline has dropped their new top 100 prospects. And within that is Trey Savage not only moving up in the rankings, soaring up to number 1 in the Jays prospect list, but he is one of the top prospects in all of baseball. And we're going to have a full video coming down on, this whole new prospect list, because there's a lot to go over here. And let me know down below what your initial thoughts are on it. But here's kind of a look at the top guys. Arelva's falling down to 12. We're going to have a full video covering that, right? Lazaro Estrada down there at 22. Trey Savage now number 1. Arjun Amala is down to 3. And JoJo Parker, the recently drafted guy, is number 2. And I want to dive into a couple different things here. The focus is going to be Trey Savage. And there's been a lot of different things surrounding him. And it's even better than we thought. And the more that, people, because the move happened yesterday, there was a lot of new scouting reports, all these different things kind of coming out, not necessarily new scouting reports, but scouts talking about Trey Savage. And really just, he is, I truly believe, going to make an impact in the big leagues this year. I don't know if they're going to rush him, but I think there's a good possibility from what we're hearing. And we'll dive into a couple reports as well. But you can see here, his last 3 outings in New Hampshire, just to dive into it deeper, was a 2.83 or 2.08 ERA rather, with a 0.69 FIP and 23 Ks. It is just ludicrous. You had David Samson come out and say they didn't start to monitor his innings 2 weeks ago. They started this process in spring training. If you add him to your playoff roster, he's going to be available every day. And this is a very good report here by David Samson, or David P. Samson. It's interesting because you're at a point now where, yes, he got promoted. He is the Jays' number 1 prospect. He's the 26th ranked prospect in all of baseball now, according to MLB Pipeline. This has been a long play for them, and I've covered it briefly on the channel. They've been monitoring his innings all year, and that's something that I, briefly talked about throughout the year, but never really thought they were actually going to, potentially push for him to be a, MLB caliber reliever this year, or starter for that matter. They've been limiting his outings, 3 innings, 4 innings, all these different things. And I think they're doing that to save a little bit of innings left for September this year if they got to that point. And with each passing month over the past few months, the Jays have inched closer and closer. And with the Red Sox losing yesterday, the Jays are now 4.5 games up on the AL East, race heading into this series starting tonight against the Chicago Cubs, where I really believe the Jays have a very good chance to win that series. But you have David Samson coming out and saying that. You have Mitch Bannon, of course, the athletic reporter for the Jays, saying, if you need a big strikeout, I'm not sure there's a Blue Jay that can match Trey Savage. You would be adding some of the best strikeout stuff in all of the organization, big leagues and minor leagues, to your bullpen. You can find room for him. Yes, it might be, difficult. Logjam, maybe, all these different things. You have Tommy Nance. Do you really want to, DFA Tommy Nance to make room for Trey Savage? That's the question. At the end of the day, folks, he has some of the best stuff in baseball out of all the I guess in the minor leagues, out of all the prospects, but also in the Jays organization. He strikes out an absurd amount, and it's really, really interesting. And there's a couple different things to go over. Now, obviously, I think there is a chance he does this, but a couple things I want to dive into. It's even better when we talk for 2 reasons. One, this is Baseball America's top 100 update. They have Arjun at 44, Trey at 57, JoJo at 72. Now, I wanted to bring this up because the, of course, MLB Pipeline one, you can see his pipeline stats here. They have him ranked 26th in all of baseball. So, again, different, scouts will have different, feelings. MLB Pipeline is higher on Trey Savage and JoJo Parker than Arjun Amala, whereas Baseball America is higher on Arjun Amala than Trey Savage and JoJo Parker. Regardless of that, for Trey Savage, he has moved up to 26, which is a massive leap. You can see here, the grades go from 20 to 80. For those unfamiliar, and this is a recent first-round pick back in 2024, obviously the one before, JoJo Parker, and saying back in 2024, it's just last year, but regardless. Fastball is 60, which means it's a plus fastball. 50 is usually like the average, even though it goes 20 to 80. So 60, anything above 50 is a plus. 60, great fastball. 50, pretty solid curveball. 60 for splitter, and 60 for slider, which means he's basically has a plus fastball, a plus slider, a plus splitter, an average control, an average, curveball, which ultimately leaves him at a 55 grade prospect, which is very good. You can dive into some of the more advanced metrics. He has all the stuff to be one of the best bullpen arms for the Jays this year because of his swing and miss. That's what it all comes down to. And I'm not saying he's better than a lot of the big leaguers they have right now, because we don't know yet. He is a prospect. But what I do know is that Trey Savage is the best strikeout pitcher in the organization, in the minor leagues, and there's a good chance that he'd be the best in the major leagues as well. He is that good. I think there's something to be said about the Toronto Blue Jays, farm system this year and the complete 180 in development that they've had. And it's very intriguing to hear that from reporters like Mitch Bannon saying that they could dive right in. He's around the team all the time. Obviously, Thomas Hall kind of giving a preview of, or rather a review of what he did in, a review of what he did in AA, and of course a preview of what could be to come. For him to move up to 26 in all of baseball is absolutely incredible. And his ETA was next year. I think no matter what, he's going to be an absolute beast next season for the Jays at the major league level. I truly believe that. I think he's going to be a starter. And I know some people in the comments of yesterday's video, rightfully so, were saying don't rush him and things like that. I think, and I'm on the kind of the side of the fence of, you rarely get chances to win the AL East and to get a bye. And obviously the Jays have a lot of work to do to get a bye. You have to still not only finish first in the AL East, it doesn't guarantee you a bye. You have to finish top 2 out of the 3 teams in the AL as a whole. So they're competing with right now, that is the Houston Astros and the Detroit Tigers, with the Mariners close behind. It's going to be an absolute dogfight. And if you can add swing and miss to the bullpen, I don't care where it comes from, I don't think it'll hurt the development. You do it. And I think that's what the Jays are thinking about right now. And ultimately, I think that's what's going to be getting done. But folks, this is even better than we thought now. The midseason rankings, Trey Savage is flying up. I could see it happening. We'll have a full review here over the next few days covering some of these prospects. It's a weird time because all the focus is on the big league team. But it matters a lot because guess what? He could actually be on the big league team very, very soon. So let me know down below what your thoughts are on that. It's a very interesting one. It's at the end of the day going to be a very, I think, difficult decision to kind of balance the kind of, weight scale here. Do you want to rush him? Do you want to, have a bullpen arm that can help you win games at the big league level? We saw what happened with Nate Pearson. We saw what happened with Ricky Tiedemann. Let's see what happens with Trey Savage. But there's a couple things I want to dive into before the video wraps up here. The Jays start a crucial series against the Cubs. Now, the Red Sox did us a favor yesterday by losing. The Jays are now 4.5 games up. But the starters are going to be, of course, you have Berríos, you have Gausman, and you have Max Scherzer. 3 very solid pitchers. Berríos has been struggling as of late, but, arguably your 3 most reliable starters. I would obviously throw Lauer instead of Berríos in that conversation, but, really reliable starters. Not really argument. Your most reliable are probably going to be, Gausman, Lauer, and probably Scherzer. Maybe, you could argue Chris Bassett. To be honest, they're all pretty similar reliability. You never really know what you're going to get on a daily basis with this, starting pitching staff outside of Eric Lauer. Side note on that, playoff series starts right now. Best of 3, let's say, whatever, 3 games. Who are your 3 starters in the playoffs if it started right now? Let me know down below. It's a sidetrack there. But you have a huge series starting, and it's going to be a massive one. And I want to touch on a stat that came out here, and obviously you're watching right now. Also leave a comment. What do you think that these numbers are? I'm about to tell you in a minute, but what do you think that these numbers are? This is for this season. And if you can guess, I will heart the comment. Now, obviously you could just keep watching and then leave the comment after I say it, but I'll trust you guys. I'll trust you guys down below. What do you think this number is? Bichette has 204 of them. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has 191 of them. So let me know down below what your guess is. I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, you left your comment. We'll see if I knew you were close. It is balls batted, meaning balls hit over 95 miles per hour plus off of the bat. So their exit velocity of 95 miles per hour or more. Bo is 204. Vladdy is 191. And this is in all of baseball, AL and NL. The Jays have 2 of the top 5 players in baseball who hit balls over 95 miles an hour, which is crazy because the Jays, like Bo Bichette, he smokes balls, but you think Vladdy would probably have a higher number. Bo is on a tear, leads the AL in hits, leads, the MLB in batted balls over 95 miles an hour. A crazy stat there. And these 2 are going to be the crucial factor heading into the series tonight against the Cubs. And it is going to be an interesting one, right? And obviously whether Trey Savage comes up and helps, it's still yet to be seen. But what matters now is getting production from the big boys. You're going up. You have 3 solid starters. Hopefully Berríos can bounce back. obviously there's no Chris Bassett, which you probably want a Chris Bassett in this series because he's a lot better at home. We get Scherzer in a couple days. You get Gosse tomorrow, and today you get José Berríos, who's hopefully, prone for a bounce back here. But let me know down below what your thoughts are on all of this, folks. Bichette's been a beast. I mean, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has been on fire lately, and all the, the haters for Vladdy are probably a little bit quiet right now. We'd obviously rather a bit more home run ball, a bit more power, but he's going to, if he can continue to launch balls, I'll be very happy. This series is critical. You have the Rangers next with Nathan Eovaldi, Jacob deGrom in the rotation set to come up. It's going to be a tough one, and you are now 4.5 games up in the AL East. You have a big chance here to make some room, and hopefully they can do so. You guys have been the best. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys later. Cheers.